Well, hello everyone. Happy Friday and happy St. Patrick's Day. We're filming this on March 17th. And do some research. St. Patrick was a pretty significant person in the Christian history, but I digress. Anyway, in the past couple of weeks, there have been situations where I've had to introduce myself. I've been at events and I was told I had to state my name, and then I went on to have to share a few other things. And it was interesting in those circumstances that once people heard my name and saw the way that I engaged with some of the questions that were asked me, they probably made a judgment of who I was. They were trying to get to my identity. Who is this guy standing in front of them? And as I pondered that, I thought a little bit about our study in the book of Matthew, particularly where we find ourselves this week in Matthew 16. Jesus has just wandered through the countryside. He's been healing and teaching, and a lot of people have made these assumptions of who he is, of his identity. Some were proclaiming that he was the Messiah, he was the Savior of the world. Others weren't quite sure who he was or what his mission was. We get to a point, a very pivotal point in Matthew 16, where Jesus actually wants to get to the heart of the matter. He turns to his disciples and he asks them point blank, "Who do people say I am?" And it's interesting that the answers he gets back are quite eclectic. But then he gets to the heart of the matter. He now turns to his closest followers and he says, "Who do you say I am?" Peter, as we would only expect, impetuous Peter, jumps forward right away and says, "You are the Messiah, the Son of God." And Peter had already made this judgment about what a Messiah should look like, what Jesus, the Savior, should look like. They expected that he would come and save the people by force, by overcoming the enemy. But then Jesus goes on in Matthew 16 to tell them that he would be the kind of Messiah who would have to suffer and die. That was unheard of in that day. And as we read further, Peter was quite upset with it. But Jesus was beginning to predict what lay ahead in his future, that he would have to go to Jerusalem. We're going to unpack that passage a little bit more, get to the heart of Jesus' identity, and we're going to be challenged by who we think Jesus is. And what does he mean to our world? Join us this Sunday as we continue in our series, Your Kingdom Come, the Gospel of Matthew. Have a great weekend.